this image looks absolutely beautiful, and we're going to make sure it will look even better. We're just going to make sure that this image is ready to go to other people to see it. So what I'm going to do, of course, at the end, I'm creating a stamp. Stamp, of course, is the layer on the top. So on my MacBook, I'm pressing Command, Option, Shift, and E. Of course, if you work on the Windows, that would be Control, Alt, Shift, and E. And I'm going to rename this into the stamp. Of course, we also want to convert this to the smart object because we want to work non-destructively. So as we work professionally, we always will be working non-destructively on the image. This is super important. You must remember on this if you think of professional work. So then let's go to filter, camera raw filter. And you have to be careful at the end because it's easy to overdo the things at the end. Like color-wise, for example, you don't want to go too far. Also, you don't want to go too far, for example, using contrast, because this contrast changes the saturation value. So I usually don't use it in the things as portraits, for example. I'm not really using contrast for the portraits here. Do we want to do the darks for blacks, for example? Maybe just a little bit. I want to make sure that this image could get maybe a little bit more contrast, a little bit more lights. I don't want to go too far with the lights, of course. It's quite bright, but I do not want to overdo this because we are, I think, very close over here to blow this up. So I would be really careful with it. And I don't need too much contrasts and shadows. I feel the shadows are perfect. We really did a great job. The other thing that I could pay a little bit of attention is the hue. As you can see, I did add some of the red color, for example, over here. And I was just worried that it could be too red. So if you worry the same, that you get the image and it turns maybe too red or anything like that, you can always manipulate with hue and add this few final adjustments to the image just to be sure it is correct. So as you can see, I did not have much to do over here. I don't want to go far with it. It's actually blowing up mainly the background instead of the model. Also with the shadows, I wouldn't go too far. I think the shadows are absolutely beautiful as we set them up before. So what I want to do over here is I don't want to use crop. So in non-destructive way, I would actually use the scale over here. So I will see where it will suit well. And I don't want to crop too far. Maybe somewhere around here. I also want to know your opinion where this image should be cropped. Maybe a little bit more. Just around here. I think that would be the right crop. So after that, hit OK. And this is our final result. Thank you for watching this. Of course, you might add some of the noise if you need that. I don't really like for outdoor image some noise, especially for the one representing portrait so much, but you can create empty layer, hit fill with gray color, change this to the soft light, zoom this in and see how much amount of noise would be suitable for this image, how much noise it's needed. Depends on the grain, of course. You could go really far with like 20 or 30, but I think it would be too much for such a delicate image as this one. I would go only with 12, and I would possibly blur this out a little bit for like 0.2 to not leave the grain so strong. And also I would change the opacity down to maybe 70, but I don't think the noise is so needed on this image. As I said, not for every image the noise is necessary. In case you need that, you might add it. So I believe you enjoyed this. I think it was great example, great image to work with. We did absolutely amazing job. after raw conversion, getting this and finishing up on this absolutely beautiful skin, beautiful colors and contrasts. So the few elements that are needed to create absolutely outstanding images.